Hi everyone and welcome in Spain. My name is Ron and I am here with the HH55 hull number 7. This boat was built in 2022, then made a full circumnavigation, and after almost 40,000 miles she comes back here and we listed her in brokerage. So I'd like to give you a quick video tour. Hull number 7 is built in full carbon and epoxy by my good friend and legendary boat builder Paul Hakes in his factory in Xiamen. You see, these epoxy hulls really benefit from post-curing after the building, so putting them at a higher temperature for a certain period of time. That makes the hulls lighter and stiffer, stronger, more durable, but you need a pretty big oven to do that, and they have that in Xiamen. So let's have a look here at the decks first. First you notice that the stanchions are much higher. They're almost a meter high, so they really provide safety and comfort and support. The airmet stays here are connected to the chain plates with these carbon loops, so we don't need turnbuckles. We just jack up the mast hydraulically, so we always have a perfect mast trim and it's much more reliable. The C-shaped daggerboards provide lift, so she rides much more smoothly in the waves and creates a huge advantage regarding upwind performance, and they are simply controlled at a push of a button by these electric line drivers. The carbon crossbeam, striker and longeron are built out of one piece, and with these rails we control the front sails. So this bullet locks in the mast, and then you can simply release the halyard, and then to trim the sails you simply adjust the tension on these lines here, which is much more convenient. It's straight out of regatta sailing, but I think cruising boats really benefit from that. The 23-meter mast frame, Swedish built carbon mast and carbon boom have a full batted mainsail, and there's a asymmetrical A2 and A3 spinnaker, gennaker, and the reacher. You can find them here nicely tucked away in this sail locker, where you also see the watertight bulkhead and even a sacrificial part in the bow up front in case of a collision. So yeah, we're all about performance, but safety is always priority number one. In this locker we find a large generator with easy access. You can simply sit there. More storage room here. And here you find the windlass, 60 meters of chain, 40 meters of line, and an extra spare anchor, spare chain, spare line. And what's nice is that when you haul up the anchor, the chain runs through this longeron here, and in this we installed a water rinsing pump, so your anchor chain is always cleaned before it goes into the anchor compartment. Here's another large locker, again with that watertight bulkhead. Lots of storage. You can even see the diving bottles there, and there's an air compressor, so you're not depending on local guys to refill your bottles. You can simply do that at your own convenience. Let's have a look at the cockpit. But first let's start at with the engine room, where we find a 57 horsepower Yanmar on both sides. And again, here you can see one of those watertight bulkheads aft as well. It's also soundproofed, and again for safety these rudder tubes extend above the waterline. There's rod rigging for the steering, so very direct, and there are 2 autopilots, so 1 for redundancy. In the large cockpit we find the outside kitchen, but this owner did not choose for the grill that everyone likes, because he did not like the grease that comes with it. Instead he chose for an induction cooker here that he can place on top. There's a connection outside as well. We have more storage room here. A nice cockpit table, and then there's the access to the helm station here. We have great visibility all around, and when docking you can even see this transom here. There are 2 3-speed Harken performant winches, a 19-inch plotter here, and kill switches for all winches for extra safety. The engine is controlled fly-by-wire. It's a carbon steering wheel, and these are the push buttons I was telling you about for controlling the daggerboards, and these are for the travelers. I like the way the helm station is still connected here to the cockpit. It's still open, you can still easily communicate, they can easily pass you the coffee. And there's another advantage to this setup, I'll show you. So like that you would create a large open area where you connect outside with inside, like this sort of Thanksgiving table, and you can fit around 12 people here. So that makes it a very social aspect of the boat. So here we are at the nav station with a 16-inch B&G plotter. There is a HH55 steering pilot and computer, everything to the highest standards. There is an Iridium Go, Inmarsat, VHF, etc. Here you control the watermaker, and all systems are controlled by this C-zone panel. So you just switch to different modes, like I'm at anchor or I'm at the marina or I leave the boat. You just switch that and the boat knows how to adjust all settings. Let's have a look at the cabins. So this is the 4-cabin version. Meters. Again, these whisper panels, very nice. There's full air conditioning in this cabin, in all cabins and the salon. Great view here through this window when you're at anchor, so not too bad. In the port hall, one of the 2 toilets has been adapted to this large storage area. And in each hull there's a double fuel line per engine, so in case of any troubles you can easily switch from one fuel line to the other for extra security. So here's the toilet and that shower for this cabin, and up front there's another cabin with an extra pipe cut above, which is in this case used for extra storage. Here's the electrical system with its large lithium bank and its inverters, so you can connect this one to any shore power in the world. It automatically adapts its power input. It's quite impressive that after 40,000 miles the boat still looks the way she does. There's hardly any signs of use, and it shows that there's a very experienced owner on board. Everything's been maintained perfectly inside and out, and I'm convinced that this is the best HH55 currently on the market. So that was basically the general idea of this HH55. I must say, having a drink with Paul is different than commenting on his baby. I discussed the boat with him last week when he was in Amsterdam, and he said there's only one thing that he regrets doing, which is he installed an extra fuel tank in the front port bow. The owner insisted on that because he was afraid that the standard 750 liters of diesel would not get him through the doldrums. But having sailed around the world, he now admits that he never needed that extra tank because the boat sails at, according to the owner, at 5 to 6 knots. The boat already sails the wind speed, so he never needed extra fuel. So that is basically the only complaint that Paul had. So if you'd like to have a viewing, please let me know. It would be my pleasure to show you around. The boat is in Valencia and there's easy connections from Amsterdam or other places in the world, direct flights here, so that's easily set up, and I'd be happy to show you around.